So as the development on the Disney Skyliner is progressing at Walt Disney World, we're starting to get a better idea of when it should open, but we'll get into all of that up next. Hi there Waltoneers, I'm Jack, this is DSNY Newscast. Go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel, and also hit that notification icon so therefore you always get an update. With that being said, let's get straight into it. As construction is currently taking place all around Walt Disney World at the moment, building toward the 50th anniversary celebrations that will take place in 2021. But the most prevalent construction that you'll be able to see all over the resort is going to be for the Disney Skyliner service, which is the brand new gondola transportation system that is set to begin operations sometime next year. Now, it's been a while since we last checked in on the Skyliner's progress, as it was way back in February of this year that we last covered it. But since then, major progress has been made on the Skyliner's transportation terminals, which is where the guests will board and disembark the gondola cars. As we can see that the bull wheel pulley system has now been fully installed for the Disney's Hollywood Studios Skyliner station, with the next step to install the cosmetic elements and theming to the outside of the facade of the station, so that it will look a lot more like the official concept art that Disney released late last year for the Disney's Hollywood Studios Skyliner station. But for such a large-scale transportation system, it will need a central hub, and that will be over at the Caribbean Beach Resort. As we can see in these amazing aerial photos taken by BioReconstruct over on Twitter, as this station will consist of 3 separate sections, with one of the pulley systems aiming towards the Epcot route, the other for the Pop Century and the Art of Animation route, and then this central route right here will be for Disney's Hollywood Studios. And it's at this central hub that you'll have to disembark and reboard a new gondola car to continue on to your destination. Now, we've heard it mentioned many times before that the Disney Skyliner service should open sometime within 2019, but the date has moved around quite a bit. But now we've had it confirmed once again by the reliable insider Marnie1971 over on the WDW Magic forums that the Disney Skyliner should be open by late spring of 2019. So that's roughly around this time next year. And if you're looking at some of the construction that's currently going on for the Skyliner and thinking to yourself that that's way too long considering how much progress has already been made, it has to be mentioned and noted that the Pop Century Art of Animation station is still yet to go vertical. And also the International Gateway station over at Epcot looks to still be in the early stages. But it's the International Gateway station over at Epcot that raises an interesting prospect here, as we now know, as Disney have recently announced, that Galaxy's Edge will be opening at Walt Disney World in late fall of 2019, and Disney will be wanting to use the Skyliner for easy transportation to Disney's Hollywood Studios from the Disney Valley resorts. Whereas on the other side of things, we know that the Ratatouille ride won't be completed until around early 2020, as Disney are clearly prioritising the other stations over the International Gateway, as they don't want guests to have an unsightly view into the Ratatouille construction courtyard area. So the way that this system has been set up currently enables Disney to potentially have a phased rollout of the Disney Skyliner early next year, and maybe bring the Epcot route online later on in 2019. But all of this at the moment is very fluid, but what we do know that you'll be able to take to the skies in the Disney Skyliner by late spring of 2019 at the very latest. But anyways, now let's move on over to Disneyland, as at long last, Pirates of the Caribbean has reopened along with the new changes to the bride auction scene, which were announced last year. And these changes have already been implemented in the Walt Disney World version of the attraction this March, but Imagineering have also used this opportunity to enhance other elements of the classic ride. But most notably, they have removed the Davy Jones fog screen transition and replaced it with a new vignette at the side, which uses a mirror illusion to show a skeleton turning into a pirate, which is actually a slight callback to an unused piece of Mark Davis concept art for the original attraction in 1967. But in addition to all of this, Disney have also re-added this iconic piece of audio back into this section of the ride.
Too much. You've seen the cursed treasure. You know where it be hidden.
However, if Pirates of the Caribbean reopening wasn't enough, Disneyland have also debuted the Redhead as now a meet and greet character around New Orleans Square. And I'll leave a link down below in the description box so you can go ahead and check that video on out. Now, this past weekend we received plenty of Marvel offerings in Disney parks around the world. As first of all, the Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mix live show debuted at the American Gardens Theatre over in Epcot. And this high-energy music show will be running throughout the rest of the summer. Meanwhile, across the pond, Disneyland Paris were marking the beginning of the Marvel Summer of Heroes seasonal event. That also has its very own version of the Guardians of the Galaxy dance-off, which we saw last year at Disney California Adventure. But the big addition to Disneyland Paris was the Marvel Superheroes United stunt show that promised state-of-the-art technological, storytelling and special effects. And the show does seem to deliver on the tech side of things. But my one reservation about all of this is the narrative of the show is very basic, with an origin story for each one of the characters and then just some big fight scene at the very end with Thanos and Nebula. But it does show us that Disney are working on more groundbreaking storytelling techniques for future Marvel stunt shows in maybe Disney California Adventure as part of a new Marvel Land that's going to be coming to that park in the coming years. And lastly for today, I just want to very quickly cover the announcement from last Friday that John Lasseter will not be returning full time, but instead Disney have announced that he will be departing Disney and Pixar at the end of 2018. And this announcement comes amid the multiple claims regarding his personal conduct. And in the light of this decision, Disney are appointing Pete Docter to take over the previous leadership role that John had at Pixar, and they'll also be appointing Jennifer Lee, who was one of the co-directors of Frozen, to be doing the same for the Walt Disney Animation Studio side of things as well. So in many ways, out of all of this, the future looks very bright for both Disney and Pixar animation in the coming years under Pete Docter and Jennifer Lee. But now it's over to you, Walt, as I would like to know if Disney were to go back and enhance a classic attraction like they've most recently done with Pirates of the Caribbean, which classic attraction would you like them to enhance, and in which way exactly would you add to that attraction or enhance it? And of course, don't forget to put the timestamp or time code of where the hidden Mickey appeared somewhere in this video along with your suggestion or your comment to be in with a chance to win one of these official Walt Disney certified by DSNY Newscast enamel pins. And congratulations to this Walt Disney here for winning with this suggestion from the previous video where we were talking all about Galaxy's Edge and the use of augmented reality in Disney parks. But that's it for today, so go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel. Hit that notification icon so therefore you always get an update about new videos coming out. And if you've enjoyed today's video, give this video a massive thumbs up as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.